Good day, Broad Coven. I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip, and we are doing a bonus read for the top 3 highest viewing signs. For the read, we were using a track that which was in September, and we always fulfill those reads the following month. So I'm just a couple days behind on it, but I caught myself. All right, there's been a lot of change, and that sometimes can get me, distracted from these things. So my apologies for being a couple days behind on that, but I'm on track now. All right. And we're going to just dive right into it. We are looking at the guidance that you need right now. And I'm going to put up the banner for each of your signs. I will have timestamps available for you. In fact, I'm going to do my best to just write them down right now. So after the live airing, I can put them up. I think that's just a good way to go moving forward here. Thank you so much for all your support, for your views. Taurus, for a couple months now, has been really getting a lot of views. I think a lot of people have been keeping an eye on Taurus. 1:44 on the clock, okay? Some building blocks, some new beginning coming forward for you, Taurus. That's the first little bit of info dropping here for you. Okay, I'm going to do this read very specifically. I'm going to first get out sort of like a baseline of the overarching energy that is coming your way, Taurus, and what guidance you need right now. And from that baseline, we're going to dive into a little tarot. And then I'll pull out the shadow and light playing cards that I like to use, my wild cards. 2:22 on the clock. Taurus, something's coming into alignment for you. You got some building block for your future. I feel like there's somebody that you're coming into alignment with that's going to be very significant for your future. And there's something about this. It's got like a dynamic duo energy. You're really able to get something popping with this connection, all right? Let's see what the nature of this is. Oh, this wanted to slip out, so I'm going to take it, okay? But I'm going to also do a shuffle here. What's the bottom of the deck? Skeleton strength, okay? So there's something here that is related to the past that's resurfacing, because every time I see strength, I think of the strength card in the tarot. There's something that you're overcoming. It's something you're overcoming that once held you back in the past, okay? And I feel like you're rising up to this position of strength. There's also this piece here. This is coming in. Maybe you're picking up your strength training, or you should. You might be dealing with some kind of issue. You might be finding that you're consistently having something go out, and you're constantly like going to the chiropractor. 3:33 on the clock. Actually, all you need to do is do some strength training and do some exercises to strengthen the supporting tissues around whatever you're having go out, okay? So if you got like, your vertebrae going out all the time on your back, then you'll want to, first of all, have a really strong core. You might need more core training, but you also want to do stuff that's like extension, to kind of like really strengthen the muscles that support the spine, right? I don't know why that's coming in, but it wanted to come in just as a side note. And I'm not going to look at those yet. We'll see what those are, okay? We'll find out together, okay? So we know that you're gathering your strength to overcome something that might have held you back in the past, okay? And you're finding the courage to face something squarely, I thought. Okay. This is something that's old, okay? It's like an old story. It's something that goes back for you a ways. You might have felt like you were in a more weakened position in the past, and you're finding your courage to address something. You'll have the strength to overcome this challenge, all right? Whatever held you back in the past, or whatever made you feel less than, is what just came through. You're getting an opportunity to like redeem yourself in this situation. And I think it's really about you just like standing in your own truth, okay? Whether people agree with it or not, it's sort of like, this is what it is for me. This is who I am. And, maybe you don't agree with it. Something just landed on the floor, all right? Something just landed on the floor. Ooh, it's in reverse. Look at this. The Witch and Eternal Love in reverse on the floor, okay? I mean, I have to call it in. This could be something. There's a couple different messages coming in here. Okay, first of all, the first message I got is when we're looking at the Witch with eternal love, maybe there was some kind of love spell work that was done, either that you did or somebody did on you. Okay, I have to bring it in with the Witch coming in here. It's the Weaver of the world in reverse for the Witch. So something was woven here that caused some problems. And where there's eternal love over here, and it says love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. This is in reverse. So there's sort of like no love lost kind of vibes, all right? Somebody felt really attached to something. Somebody felt really chained to something, and they felt like they lost their power to this thing. That's what I got, okay? To me, it feels like it's a love relationship where you feel like you lost a part of yourself. You gave a part of yourself away, or this person had power over you in the past. And there's something that you're turning around right now. I think maybe in some ways you felt extremely attached to this person. You found it hard to let go. You finally got the strength to sort of integrate those lessons. Now you're able to release it. Okay, so I feel like you're releasing a relationship that at one point you thought, this is my soulmate. This is the person I'm supposed to be with. You felt a really strong connection there. You may have even felt like this is the person that, we're going to go all the way to the grave, with each other. Oh, somebody must have done. I said musta. I didn't mean to say musta. I was going to say someone might have, but it said must have is what came out. Nothing comes out by accident. So maybe somebody did some workings with graveyard dirt. Okay. There's this thing about working with any kind of, juju like that there's a very specific way about gathering such things. And it's sort of like territory you don't want to take lightly if you're going to do workings like that. It can really backfire. Okay. That's going out there for someone, okay? It can really disrupt the ancestral energy because I have to think of ancestors here too, all right? And you don't know the energies necessarily that's attached to that graveyard dirt, So even if you do something that you think you're going about it ethically, there can sometimes be other energies attached to it. And that can taint the way things manifest, all right? I'm getting kind of like hungry ghost energy with this. So it's something that feels old. It also is something very karmic. And when I say karmic, I mean this is probably like some kind of battle that's been going on between you and this particular soulmate for many, many, many incarnations. Okay. It's like it's old grudge energy, but it feels like spiritual grudge energy. I have to tell you. And I feel like this is a situation where at one point, there was one person in this situation that had the upper hand. Like they were always the one that was in the position of power, and the other one was in more of a subordinate or subservient position. That's like the dynamic, okay? This could be like in one lifetime, someone was a general and the other person was like, a soldier. All right. So they always were in some kind of position where they had to take orders from this person. In another lifetime, somebody was the king and the other was the servant. Okay. This kind of vibe. All right. But somebody here is taking back their power, and it's something that's been happening on a really deep level. It's something that's been happening on a spiritual level. This is a real like supernatural vibe read, but it feels good. Just 10 on the clock. Yeah, you're closing up a significant karmic cycle with this. And I don't know, maybe there were lifetimes in the past when one or the other of you, or both of you potentially, could have been agents for the dark side. Maybe you were, maybe you weren't a good witch, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? People talk about this a lot, but really, magic is magic is magic is magic. No matter what you label it as, it's all dependent on the heart of the practitioner who's working the magic. Okay. But this could have been somebody who worked distorted magic, you know, used magic to control others, used magic to overpower others. All right. And there's something that's been broken here. I feel it's like it's a curse that's been lifted or a binding that's been released. There was something that was psychically put in place. I'm going a little bit out there with this one, but I'm getting like device energy. You know what I'm talking about if you've worked on a sort of like a psychic investigation level. This is when something has been put in place to hold a certain energy pattern in the auric body, and it carries over. You know, it can carry over through lifetimes. It's got that vibe. Okay, something's been released here. You've been doing some deep psychic integration work. If none of that relates to you, but 11:33 on the clock, I have to say, so that's really somebody's message. But for those of you that don't relate to that, because you know you're not connected to any kind of path like that, or that doesn't resonate with you, I would say this is a process where you've been recovering almost aspects of yourself, like parts of your psyche. You've been in some deep process of alchemy, but it's 11:55 on the clock. Maybe it's a little bit of both for some of you, okay? But you've gone down to that south node energy where in order to balance out the karma in this situation, you've had to really look at some deep, dark, heavy stuff. 12:11 to 12:12 on the clock. And I feel like you finally did it, and you came to some kind of understanding when you did this. It's like you felt your power rush back into you. I'm almost getting an image of somebody standing outside, and it was like the moment they knew that they had really released this thing, maybe you were doing release work, you just had like this gust of wind came at you, and it was almost like a feeling of like having like all of your power come back to you. It's like you called something that was a deep part of you back to you. And once you did that, you were able to release this. So I feel like this is letting you know that this karmic debt has been settled, right? So whatever was done has been undone, all right? Balance has been restored here in this situation. Yes, look at this. And I mean, I love that I'm looking at this as a follow through here. We got invisibility, authenticity, and death. The eternal cycle begins here. So it's just like saying, yep, that's what's up. That's what's up. This is the real deal. And maybe you're also in this place right now where with invisibility, when it comes to authenticity, maybe you feel like nobody sees your truth through your eyes or through your perspective, like there's something here. Or maybe people don't understand why you took certain actions that maybe people feel were the wrong actions, or maybe you've dealt with some level of judgment for. But it's because there was some kind of drama working out beneath the surface that was very soul level, and it had everything to do with you doing this integration work. And this involves a bit of moth medicine here, okay? So with that moth medicine, we are really looking at this piece of, I got Mothman came in, all right? So maybe there's also sort of this fear component that's really been strongly in place in this situation as well. And I feel that with the moth to the flame, it's sort of like you had to get really close to the edge there, and you had to get really close to something that actually provoked a lot of fear within you, or maybe you knew it was kind of like dancing with the devil a bit, but there was still a necessary piece of this that had to play out. 14:55 on the clock, 555. Yeah, it was disruptive. It probably led to conflict. There was probably betrayal energy around this. There's strife around this. But whatever this was, it led to a transformation. It's sort of like you had to give yourself over to those flames so you could just like 15:15 on the clock, double sixes there, right? Deep, powerful healing that was happening there. But this healing aligns you with your true purpose, your true path, and something has been closed and released. So that's a pretty potent opener there, Taurus. Okay, we are looking at any significant placement for Taurus. That is Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto. I saw 2 of Wands on the split of the deck there. So you got a brand new view, okay? I feel like it's sort of like clean slate energy, Taurus. You can pretty much create whatever you want from here. It's up to you, right? It's all about what you want to create for yourself, the future you see yourself stepping into. It's an opportunity for you to align with your purpose and step up into your North Node, all right? So destiny is all about working, you know, the hand you're dealt. You know, you can get dealt kind of a rough hand or a tricky hand to play, but if you play it well, you can really pull something off, right? So it's all about, I just heard, you know, you got an ace up your sleeve, all right? You do have one last trick. That's what I just heard. I got one last trick. Let's see. Can we pull a rabbit out of the hat, Taurus? All right. Well, that's kind of interesting. Maybe you're challenging death. Maybe you can't help but to challenge death one last time. Maybe that's what's kind of the fear. Like, oh, do I dare open this again? Do I dare peer under the lid of Pandora's box? Okay. This may have something to do with a King of Pentacles energy. That is your energy here. There might be something that you really feel like, I'm really committed to this. Like you might be looking to make some really bold move in a particular direction, and you got the confidence. Like you're like, you know what? Maybe people don't think I can pull this off, but I think I can, or I think I'm worth this. You know, you're going in some direction that really is going to challenge you. You know, it's going to challenge you to show that you've earned your chops. Okay, there's something about this. This could be in the business arena. Let's see. You might also be dealing with masculine Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Okay, there could be some kind of commitment being made here. Maybe you had to release a dance or a dynamic you had in love with somebody from your past so you could step into a new commitment. Okay. Might be somebody really wanting to commit to you, and you might be looking at this. Maybe this is why you, woo, that flew out there. Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay, so there's some impetuous action that's being taken here. Could be by an air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is something that is a little bit impetuous. It's rebirth energy. So this could be you, okay, with just the message that I was bringing in. The Knights deal with the movement, you know, the action being taken. It is this kind of action, though, that's motivated by that air element. So we know the swords are involved. So there's some level of hurt involved in this situation. Some kind of pain, could be some kind of trauma associated in this situation that needs to be resolved. There also may be anger in this situation. There also may be a feeling of I have to act quickly, swiftly. Maybe you're trying to cut something off at the past that you feel is a threat to you being able to commit to the direction you feel called to commit in, right? Let's see what this action is about. What is this action about that's being taken? It looks impulsive and reckless. Ugh, I wouldn't advise this. It leads to a tower, and it's a tower that heads south. Like south, a tower that heads south is not good. Now, if you notice here, on the top of this card, I'll turn it upright so you can see it more clearly. There's a bat here, all right? Bats are normally about rebirth, but with this being in reverse, it's saying, no, there's no second wind in this. So you have to understand that this thing is flying out the window. You know, you have to accept that it's come to a close. And I feel like maybe there's somebody here, maybe that person that you were closing things out with, okay, from your past, that's having a hard time accepting this. Like they won't accept that, no, this is the judgment I made in this situation, or you're at odds with this person. And this is causing some tower to fall. There's something happening here. I want more clarity about this. What is this tower that Taurus is facing? What is this tower that Taurus is facing? Death. Death, 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 death. It's the end. It's the end. There's something you're having a hard time ending or releasing. It's a big tower for you. You feel like you want to take some kind of impetuous action to resolve it, but the message is no, this is done. It's sort of like a transformation by fire. It's the fire test of truth. You know, sometimes too, when we stand in our truth, you know, we're in the hot seat. You know, there's something that's happening here that is advising you to just accept. That's what I'm getting. The message is very clear. Accept this ending. Let this release happen. You are calling your power back to you. And it seems like you had this experience where you felt like your power got called back, or perhaps you're about to. Maybe that's what you'll discover is when you truly release this thing, you'll feel your power rush back to you. Maybe this is a prediction I'm having here about this, but this is the nature of the situation that you're embroiled in. Okay. I would not take any swift action, especially with Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords can be legal action. In reverse, it could be like this could land you in legal trouble. Okay. Somebody in connection with you, it could be this past person, is considering taking some legal action. Not some legal action, some action. Well, maybe they are. Maybe they're planning on taking some legal action out of revenge that'll be a tower. Or maybe this individual will do something hasty and it will leave them in hot water, legal trouble. Either way, Knight of Swords in reverse is not a good energy. It can be aggressive and it can be violent. So this is something to be mindful of. You need to be very aware of this energy. Energies we have on the board, sword energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Scorpio energy, really heavy, Aries energy, Scorpio energy, like super, super strong, okay? All over this. That's what we got so far, right? Let me do a cut of the deck on this. I'd be careful here. Here's King of Pentacles. Oh, yes, we had the Earth sign energy too. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, so this is the direction that's wanting to be committed in. Look at this. I cannot make it up. 10 of Swords. Ending. It's done. Look at her. Please look at her. Do you see her? She's giving herself over to it. She's not fighting it. She's just allowing this to end. She's allowing it to come to a close because she recognizes there's still light. Next full moon in Gemini on the 27th may be very significant for you. This may be when you experience this ending and this release. So maybe this moment hasn't come yet that came in. I did see this distinct vision, like standing somewhere out in nature, and you have this moment, this release. Maybe you're doing a release ritual. Maybe you are just kind of having a talk with your loved one who is no longer on this earthly plane. You know, maybe you had somebody very close to you die in the past year, I got. And so maybe you were dropping in and connecting with them, or you will be. But you'll have this moment where it feels like there's like some wind that comes in, some breeze, and it's like you feel all your power rush back to you. You're meant to balance this out, okay? When you balance it out, look at what it brings you. 2 of Cups, love union. So this is what I got. It's really about closing out the past, and it frees you up to get a true commitment, all right? That's what's on the other side of this. And you might be preparing to step into like a real, you know, serious committed relationship. And because of this, you kind of had to peer, you know, under the lid of Pandora's box and sort of integrate some stuff to prepare you for this. Maybe you've had a lot of fear about making a deep commitment because of things that have happened in the past. Some of you might be preparing to get married, okay? Or you have somebody coming in they're like on that level, right? This is somebody that will be on the path with you for a long time to come. There's something really powerful here. If you are currently in a committed relationship, but you've been dealing with a lot of challenges, likely the challenges have been caused by an ex on the scene. And the ex being on the scene is what's really caused the disruption. There was something that you didn't close properly in that connection that remained undone. But it looks like some karmic cycle is closing up. And because of this, you're calling your power back. And it brings you into alignment with the person you're meant to be with, 2626. This is the manifestation of that. So that looks like some really good energy. That feels really complete, but I'll go ahead and just see if there's anything else that wants to come out for you, Taurus. Taurus, you had like such high views. I'm giving you a little extra time with your read. These are going to be more condensed this month around just because there's a lot of stuff I'm developing right now, and I have to be mindful of using my time wisely. Maybe you need to be mindful of using your time wisely at this time, okay? Maybe don't let yourself get so distracted. So you can really dive deep into this. I feel like, you know, you've got to give yourself time and space to experience the healing you need to experience and to integrate stuff like this. So if you can sort of like use your time wisely, like free up space, maybe just empty spaces. So if you need extra rest, or, you know, if you need to process something or drop in with your soul a little bit, you know, whatever that may be for you, have a little more time for nature hikes, things like that. That could be really good for you. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, really preserve this time with the 7 of clubs, right? That's important. You might need to kind of keep other people's energy at bay. You might be needing to really reinforce your boundaries at this time, because what you're going through is sort of a private experience. It's an intimate experience. Not everybody should have access to that. And what do we got here? We got the 7 of spades. So yeah, you know, there's something here where something has happened that's not quite right, and somebody doesn't have the best of intentions in this situation. I feel it relates to a past person, and this is something that you need to be mindful of, because there's a little bit of, you know, a danger here. You know, be careful about entertaining stuff that's, you know, proven to be untrustworthy in the past. If you're thinking that it'll be different, not necessarily so. All right, you might plan on going in and taking some swift action, and maybe you think that this will like be some kind of reclaiming, but it's not the true reclaiming. The true reclaiming is about, you know, you really being empowered and being at peace and being able to just release and stay present with your experience, not let the past rule over you so much anymore that you have to prove something to it. Ah, interesting. Kind of the deck energy here. Okay, we got Queen of Spades, and on the other side of that, we got the 3 of Spades. Okay, interesting. Right behind that, we have the King of Hearts. Okay, so this could be coming up for the masculine very strongly around an ex that they're separated from. They don't have the best of intentions in this situation with the King of Hearts. There's still a lot of shadow there. That's water sign energy. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio for the masculine, okay? And with that Queen of Spades, this is definitely an ex. This is somebody they are separated from. Again, could be an air sign energy, okay? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But there's almost like this desire to like get one over on this person, get even on this person, all right? You could have a strong air placement in your chart, Taurus, for the feminines, or you could just be this person's ex, all right? and you may view this situation as over, but this person might be trying to reconnect, and you need to be mindful that, you know, this person might take advantage of you. Yeah, they might do this under the premise of, oh, let's work together. We can work this out. There could even be a financial piece here, but it's in the shadow. You would be advised to give this thing a rest. Like, oh my gosh, Taurus, it is done. Four of Spades in the shadow. And then right after that, Death in the shadow. You don't have all the pieces of this puzzle. There's something here that you need to discover and learn from before you go and play. Because if you do, you're going to fuck around and find out. And some of you already did, and you're about to find out. You're about to find out. Yep. This is Queen of Clubs energy. Okay, fire sign energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's also known as kind of like the other woman or the mistress. It is coming up in association with the Six of Clubs in the shadow, which is usually somebody that's very highly competitive and wants to win at all costs. How? Through conquesting, through the sexuality, all right? With the Ace of Clubs here. So yeah, you better watch it, because what's going to be illuminated for you is the way that this can lead to a very severe loss with the Five of Diamonds, all right? That's trying to be enlightened for you. And there could be a legal angle here, like I was talking about, because we got the Jack of Spades here in the light. So this is a big, like, let the lights come on in the room. Hold up, wait a minute. Don't act so fast. You don't have all the pieces to this puzzle, and you would be wise to let this go and call your power back. And that's the guidance you need right now, okay? I do want to get like kind of like a hopeful message. Let me get super awesome future card, because it can be heavy when you're ending like a cycle like that. I mean, you do have some loyal people around you, okay, that can really offer you a lot of support, you know. These may be men, you know, that you've known for a long time that are more like brothers to you. You might want to lean on these men at this time and being mindful about, you know, the choices you're making, okay? There's something here that you need to be aware of, especially where there's finances involved or some kind of work arrangements, you know, some type of contractual agreements. There's definitely like an X is in this frame as well. This is kind of got like money and sex and, you know, shady deals. I don't know. It's like if there's something that's a little compromising here somewhere. This is in the mainframe of your situation that you're dealing with, and you need to preserve the boundaries that you put in place in this situation. If you do preserve the boundaries, then what ends up happening is you have this release, you call your power back. And on the other side of that, here the dogs came in again. So you have some people that are loyal to you. You might have some people that are trying to like talk some sense into you where you're wanting to take a really rash action. We did see that, like people are trying to, you know, tell you, hey, you know, you might want to rethink this. You might want to go about this differently. You might want to listen to them. They might actually be giving you really good guidance in this situation. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Let me tell you, look at this. The breakup. Whatever is going on here is over. Something is over here. I see that so clearly. It does look like it's a bit of a messy situation because there's a lot of different people involved in this situation here. There's two people here that, you know, they ran off with the rescue boat, but they're just kind of lost at sea together. All right. They don't really have anyone there to help them. They're waiting for the airlift. Okay. You got this ship going down. Somebody's jumping off this ship late. That's what I got. That could be you, Taurus. You could be jumping off this ship late. Everybody's already abandoned ship. Maybe you got these people yelling at you who already took, you know, the escape dinghy, and they're kind of hollering at you like, you need to jump ship now, man. This ship's going down, okay? And there could be a legal component in that situation that you need to be mindful of. There could be some other kind of, you know, threat in that situation where things could really get out of hand if you don't jump ship and just let this thing be. You could be here. you know? And the wise Tauruses out there will choose this path to be in that sailboat, okay? Where you just leave all this wreckage behind you, okay? Don't jump off late, all right? You know, the time to just kind of like let things be is now. If you jump off late, when a ship goes down, you go down with it. It'll suck you right down to the bottom with it, all right? So that's something that you need to be mindful of in this situation. You might want to trust the people that are trying to give you some guidance and understand that maybe they're being loyal to you. Maybe they are trying to really help you navigate this situation in a way where you don't have to go through more than you already have. You know, these people are focused on giving you some stability in your situation. They don't want to see you disrupt some kind of new stability you have in your life. That's what I got. Okay. So maybe you want to listen to them. Okay. Don't do anything rash. If you're smart about this, you can be in this place of kind of like smooth sailing. And for some of you, you know, this is like breaking away from a group of people that you realize these people just, they bring too much with them. They bring too much drama with them. They bring too much stress. And I just want to have, you know, a more calmer ride as I head off into my future. And I think that would be wise because whatever this is back here, it looks like really messy. This is falling apart, but I do feel this has ties for you in the past and you're releasing it now and it leads you in a much better direction. Okay, let's do a cut of the deck and just see what we got there for you. Okay, so you're leaving this behind. I hope you leave this behind. I hope you don't go down with the ship, Taurus, okay? I hope you leave all this behind and know that you deserve peace. You know, you deserve ease. You deserve to have a happy future and not have all of this attached to you, okay? So it's all up to you, though. It's the choices you make. Let's do. It looks like these people are, it looks like every man for themselves. You know, that's what I'm noticing here. It's like these people aren't huddled together helping each other. They're all kind of like, it's sort of like every man for themselves. So I think on some level you're dealing with a situation that has these kind of themes involved in it. I feel it's really going to play out by the full moon on the 27th. You'll have a lot more clarity about this for the parts that feel like unfamiliar to you right now. Cut of the deck energy. Cats. There's some kind of secrecy here. It could involve multiple women. There's something suspect here. We know that. We got this wet food and it's sitting out there. It's been open for a while. It's starting to stink up the joint, but you know, and that's suspect right there. Why aren't they touching it? Why doesn't anybody want to address this? They're all trying to skirt the issue, walk around the issue. What cat doesn't go for wet food? All right. There's something here. There's something here that's going on, and you know it ain't right. It may involve 3 people specifically. I'm seeing this Illuminati energy. It did come in. This could be spell work. Look at the candles back there, all right? This could be like, you know, the witches gathering together. You know, oh, it's all fun and games until, you know, until the ship goes down. Then it's every man for themselves. Ooh, there, yeah, you're definitely being tempted here. I see that. And there's snakes in the grass. You need to be mindful. If you are in a committed relationship, you got people whispering in your ears that are trying to lead you astray. There's something you got here that you know it's got strength. You know that it's going to elevate you. Okay. We got this third snake here. This is like the wisdom. All right. This is the wisdom, the empowerment, the transformation here. Right now, it feels like there's divisory energy that's trying to keep you from really being in this place of union, strength, solidity with someone. You need to be mindful about this because do you see here? You can see these snakes, but look at these shadow snakes too. I think you've already identified a couple people that are like on your radar, like I need to watch for this person. But there's others here. that you aren't aware of. And look at, I never noticed this here. Look at this lightning bolt. There's the tower energy. It's trying to rise up this trunk. It's trying to separate this, okay? So pay attention. Please pay attention. It's really important, Taurus, that you pay attention right now because something isn't right here in this situation. And you can avoid it. You can avoid it by letting it go. Don't poke the tiger, okay? I don't know why, but I said tiger, but in my head I saw a lion. Are you poking a Leo? Is there a Leo you're in some kind of beef with? You might want to be careful in this situation. I just heard because of who they're connected to, okay? You might want to be careful in this situation because of who the Leo is connected to. I'm sure that'll mean something different for everybody. I really want to get like a more positive message out here, though, just to kind of cap that off. I mean, I think the message is positive. You have a strong love union here. And there's something you need to be mindful of, that if you go poking around, like opening up Pandora's box, you know, curiosity killed the cat. Well, you may say satisfaction brought it back, but I don't know, you could end up in a pet cemetery situation here, you know, and it might seem cute at first, just like Gage was cute at first, okay, but there's something here that you need to be aware of, that when you call certain things up, when you call them back up, call them back up from their resting places is what I heard. Some of you might, I have to bring it in. It's not for everybody, but those of you on occult past that work with necromancy, you know, you may not be aware of what you conjured up, okay? Anyway, I also feel it's just more so speaking to, I feel like that's more a side note for, you know, maybe one or two people out there, who knows, but these days, you know, people, the way they look at the occult arts, they just think it's fun and games. So people just, you know, play around with all kinds of stuff without really understanding the ramifications. So, you know, who knows? Somebody thought something was fun. They saw it on frickin' TikTok or whatever, and they're like, I'm going to do that. And then they're like, whoa, what am I dealing with here? Everything in my life's a frickin' mess now. Well, this could be why, okay? That's totally not everybody's story, though. I feel this is more like you went poking around in the past, or maybe you just, you know, just had to just like get one last dig in, or, you know, you're trying to get some little last bit of information. You know, it's something like that. It can even be a revenge energy, whatever it is here. There's something here that you keep poking around in it. It could be connected to a Leo. And this situation will become very like, I just got like combustible, you know, there's something you need to be mindful of here. And yet it's so simple that if you just pull your energy, your focus away from this, it recedes. Because right now, whatever was connected to this, whether it was like some factions that had formed within your social circle, or a particular group of people you were dealing with, or work dynamic, whatever it may be, it's breaking up now. 44 on the clock. It's every man for themselves. So you would be wise to just continue on your track where you're heading, because you know where you're going. And you know where you're going, there's a lot of rootedness there. There's stability there. There's growth there. And it looks like there's somebody that wants to make a real commitment to you. And they're standing in it. They're showing up for it. It's not something that's just like a dream or pillow talk or empty promises. No, it's like it's here. You know what I'm saying? In the 3D, you got somebody that's like, I'm here, I'm committed, I'm real, I'm about it. Okay. So be mindful of what you gamble in the desire to just kind of like feel like you got one up over on somebody, or an old score you're trying to settle, or anything along these lines, because the reality is you could really end up losing something big, really big. And you'll be wondering how you could have allowed yourself to ignore the signs. That's what I got. That's what I got. It's the message. It's the download. I'm sticking to it. The beauty of your situation is it's completely 100% totally avoidable. Like you do not need to go down that track. But there's something you're like poking around in or you're meddling with that it's like, ooh, be careful. You think that the bark is worse than the bite, and you're wrong. It's the other way around. It's the other way around. Yep. There's something here you really need to be mindful of. You'd be wise to just kind of like, keep to yourself. Keep to yourself at this time. Rest, reflect, integrate, heal, do deep work. Let these people, navigate their own mess. You don't need to be connected to it. I'm going to do the cut of the deck for the Kali Oracle because it's really calling in sort of this like higher spiritual guidance. And Kali deals with, destructive cycles. Yep. I'm telling you, there's some kind of binding work here that you need to be aware of with Kata. This is a Kartika. Do you see this this blade here? It's almost like it's like a blade and a hook in one. It's a ritual tool. Okay. These ritual tools are used to cut cords. They're used also to do extraction work. So you would work with a pointed end and you would go into the area like psychically. I mean, you're making physical contact with a person's body. For example, if you're doing this work on yourself or on another, okay, you would be making physical contact, okay. But it's more like you're using it as the same way you would use a wand, right? Okay, so it's the same kind of thing. And you would use that, that hook to hook the energy, and kind of like pull it out at the root. And you can use it to cut things away. And I'm noticing here there's an offering bowl. And this offering bowl, it's filled with this kadga. I'm sorry, kadga. It's filled with the powder that you use to, you don't usually put it on yourself. Usually a teacher puts it on you. They put it on the third eye. And it basically means like, well done, job well done, that you've achieved a certain level of spiritual growth, that you passed a certain initiation, you went through a certain initiatory gateway, and it's put on to like honor you in that. Like, yes, you've achieved some new insight, you've achieved some new growth, you've achieved a new level of self-mastery. And it can be emotional mastery, it can be mental mastery, it can be a mastery that takes you to a more elevated place on your spiritual path, and you experience like an up leveling of spiritual growth. It can even be greater sight, awakening for you, clairvoyance. And I just saw a leaf falling away as I said that, kind of blowing on the breeze. There's a couple of them now, okay? So there's something that you're shedding here. And it's almost, maybe this thing was sort of like, we talked about devices, bindings, blocks. Maybe you had a block over your sight, your vision, there's something you couldn't see before. But it's once you cut this cord, once you undo these ties that bind, the vision becomes very clear. And this is like the offering. So I'm seeing this not only as a bowl that holds, that the powder. It's like it's a red saffron, but it's a special red saffron, and it's only used in a ritual capacity, and it's used to acknowledge somebody's growth, that they passed a certain initiation. There's something you're cutting away here, and there's something you're releasing here. And in doing so, it initiates you onto the next level of your spiritual path. It's like, job well done. This is meant to be released. And it was 94 on the clock when I said that. Yes, 13. It breaks a certain bad luck cycle for you. And it breaks this like sort of pattern you've had playing out in your life over and over and over again. And it allows you to step into your empowerment. because that's what 13 is. It's a power number. And for those of you that are on occult paths, that is about you retrieving your power and calling your power back. So there's like something here that you're integrating, something here that's being transformed. And look at that. It's through the eyes. There's this sight piece too. An eye for an eye energy. Evil eye energy. Cutting away this influence of this evil eye energy. You're breaking through something here, okay? And it happens in stepping back into your power and calling your power back, also from looking back there so much as well. It's like accepting this release is what cuts your way through and leads you to the other side. And it's an empowering experience. And there's a lot of growth in it. And there's also a serious committed relationship with somebody who really loves you and really has your back. And you're ready to commit to it. The masculines out there, you're ready to commit to this thing. And I think you'd be wise to hold firm to that, because there are those who would try to keep it apart, for sure. But I think you're going to learn the lesson. Work with that Khadga energy, okay? Let me see. Do I want to pull out the book? I'm going to pull out the book. She sometimes has like a little healing process here. An invocation ritual. I'll end you off with this, okay? I mean, I really wanted to give you extra, Taurus, because you all had like, I don't know, close to 700 views on your read, okay? So you definitely were like the highest viewing sign for this past reading series. So we're going to extra spoil you, okay? Khadga, she wields the holy sword of divine severance, empowering the soul in radical letting go. She instills the courage to bear the pain of loss and the wisdom to realize the secret blessing that can only arise when we embrace change. Where our strength of will may falter, she intervenes to ensure we do not sabotage our ultimate fulfillment and spiritual progress. She will not allow our souls to be ensnared in any kind of deception or trapped in fear. She is the liberator, and her sword clears the path, revealing truth. I love it when it goes down like that. I'm telling you, man, I don't need to ever go and look at the words. I love to bring the words in as confirmation, but when the artist imbues their soul in what they do, that's why I love Alana Fairchild's art. I mean, look at her art. Her art is just exquisite, but it conveys so much because I can tell she really creates it with her soul, which is why I bring her words in. I just love how it just accents everything that got brought in here. Let's hear the invocation ritual, okay? There's a whole, piece to this that, you could read a lot more about, but we're wrapping up near the end of your reading here. It's called Kali Oracle. If you're interested in this deck, maybe you've never explored this particular tradition, maybe you've never worked with Kali before, you might want to explore this deck. It can be a different way to kind of work with that energy. Let's say you are really drawn to more kind of like the darker side of the occult. Like a good way to begin working with those energies in a new sort of perspective is to work with Kali Ma. Okay, so Shiva as well. Shiva and Kali, like they both have that destructive aspect, but they also have the creative aspect, and they hold it really in balance. So if you've been on that kind of path, and maybe you're starting to get a different perspective, and maybe you want to bring a little more balance to your path, this could be a good route to go. All right, I'm going to just call this in for you. Beloved Divine Mother Kali, Devi, Khadgahasta, you wield the divine sword of protection that severs attachments and allows for spiritual progress and freedom for the heart to find and express divine fulfillment. May the process of letting go bring me peace and receptivity to the great blessings you generously bestow upon me for the spiritual benefit of all beings. Jai Ma Kali. You may wish to do a meditation in Savasana. That's when you lay down on your mat, and you can get pillows, are kind of nice. Do sort of like more of a restorative yoga. Savasana, I think, would be very nice. And you can just give yourself over and you just lay in rest. Okay. Sometimes that's the best yoga. You don't need to do, these real dynamic asanas. You can just lay there and be open, and you just kind of let your feet flop open to the sides of your mat, and you just kind of let your chest be nice and soft and open, and your palms face up at your sides alongside your body. And you can open up a little wider if you like, and you just lay there and breathe, and you can turn your gaze up toward your third eye and just rest there. There's nothing to do there, and you just let your thoughts kind of drift by like leaves drifting away from a tree at this time of year. Okay. And you don't have to do anything. You just lay there. All right. It's also known as corpse pose. Okay. Lying down on your back with your arms and legs slightly apart. If this can be done in a slightly darkened room, that is optimal. Instead, you could rest an eye pillow or lightweight scarf over your eyes. You can do a seated meditation if you prefer. Notice your breath and allow yourself to physically, emotionally, and mentally let go, becoming pleasantly heavy and relaxed. You may sense stillness or begin to notice pain or tension as you become more present. Be with whatever is happening without judgment as you continue to breathe in and out. As you rest and let go, you are allowing for the grace of Kali Ma to gently and firmly clear and support your being. If you sense you are unable to let go at a deeper level, be kind to yourself. Kali's patience is unending. She knows that when you have had enough of the pain, you'll be ready for her grace. And until that time, you are learning. Rest here for as long as is best for you. When you are ready to complete your process, slowly arise. Place your hands in prayer at your heart, and bowing your head, honor the divine wisdom temple of Kali that exists within your heart. You have completed your ritual. So you might want to work with that and just spend a little time just resting and allowing yourself to go deep into what you normally maybe wouldn't hold space for or look at in that way, where you can just really be open and gentle with it. Might also be nice to go and do some of this work at like a sound bath, because a lot of times they'll do that. They'll have you lay in corpse pose, and you can just receive the healing of the singing bowls, and it's a safe space that's been created around that. It's also sort of a reverence space that's being held around that. So you might want to experience that and see if it helps you in your process of just sort of releasing stuff from your energy body too, just breaking it up and helping you maybe get to some emotional release you might not realize is still necessary to be had there. But this does free your path, right? And it solidifies something for your future. And it also is an important moment of initiation for you spiritually, in terms of your growth. And I feel like you're going to have access to like a new sense of vision. There's some gift, some clarity that's going to be strengthened in you as a result. You don't even realize how much this has been blocking your energy. So I say, set it free, man. Set yourself free. You do so, and you have a rise in power. And it's a beautiful thing. There's a sweetness and a reward in letting go.